All right, back again. I don't think I'm ever going to do this again. I think this was a really bad idea. Um, and uh, and yeah, I don't think I'm going to do this again. Unless I had like some super duper technology wizard. Yeah. So anyway, I have no idea who's here now and who's not. There'll be a recording of this. Anyway, I appreciate your patience and your time. Anyway, so I was talking about Facebook groups for house sitting. So there's Panama House Sitting, and then there's House Sitting in Panama. And it's a good idea to join those groups and make yourself known, right? Just start communicating with people and letting them know that you're available, and that you are either planning on being in Panama or you're going to be living in Panama, something to that effect. By the way, sorry about the glitch, but my computer decided to just shut down in the middle of the live stream that finally I got to work. So anyway, if anyone's here, just make a comment because I have no idea if anybody is actually able to see what's happening here. Okay, I would get letters of reference. So someone who knows you like on a professional capacity, get some letters of reference, longtime friends, people who can, really talk about how trustworthy you are. And that would be helpful to have. It's helpful to have just in general. And if you're moving to Panama, you're going to need some of those reference letters anyway. So the rather, the better, right? You might as well, gather as many as you can. Also, if you're applying for residency in Panama, you have to have the FBI check. So use that to your advantage to establish your credibility that, look, I've had an FBI background check and been approved. So I think, I'm okay to take care of your house, and your pets. So again, if someone can just comment to make sure that someone's here other than me just talking to myself, that would be awesome to know if someone's here. Okay. So you'd want to also mention if you have any special experience with certain types of animals. Have you fostered animals before? Maybe you're really good with elderly pets. Do you have experience giving medications to any animals? There's always this funny meme that goes around about giving a cat a pill, and it takes like 20 tries, and you end up getting seriously injured because the cat will scratch you, the cat will vomit up the pill. It's very true, by the way. So that is good to mention if you have any special experience. Also, what other experience do you have, like with generators, pool equipment, pumps, security systems, plumbing? There's a lot of things that can go wrong, when you're taking care of somebody's house. There's a gentleman that I house sat for in Coronado, and he has a generator. So that was, something to get used to taking care of. And actually, I videotape the procedures. I think that's really important to do because those things can have a lot of specifications. And if you can video that, you have the homeowner telling you about, the system and what it needs. So one thing that's really important to know about if you're taking care of dogs is cane toads are highly poisonous. So cane toads are highly poisonous. Thank you so much, Inga, for letting me know you're here. Cane toads are highly poisonous for dogs, so that is really important to know if you're going to be taking care of pets in Panama. Also, there are a lot of off-leash dogs, and when they get in a pack, they can be highly aggressive. So you'll often see people walking the beach just carrying a stick, and that's often to fend off the dogs. I was taking care of a dog. It was a three-legged dog, and we would walk on the leash. And one night, thank God, I had pepper spray with me. I actually had to pepper spray a dog. I mean, I hate, that I had to do that, but I'm taking care of this animal, and there's three aggressive dogs coming at us. And so, at first, like, I kind of put the dog behind me a little bit and just tried to like lunge forward. But there was one dog that just wasn't getting the clue. Two others kind of, stood back a little bit. So I did have to pepper spray that dog. And that was scary because if I didn't have the pepper spray, I don't know what would have happened. But you do have to be cautious about the stray dogs that are in Panama in general. And actually, some of them aren't even strays. They do have homes, but people treat their animals differently. They do let them roam around. They don't necessarily put collars on them. They might not be vaccinated. There was a big outbreak of one of the highly contagious infectious diseases among the dogs last year, and a lot of dogs were lost because of that. So I don't know if anybody was here when I was mentioning, right, get letters of reference and recommendation. You're going to have that anyway if you want to move to Panama. So it's helpful just to start gathering them, right? The more you have, the better. Mentioning any special experience that you have with older animals or giving a pill to a cat, for example. Are you good with plants, pools, generators, basic kind of functions that a house has. Also here in Panama, you'll have the instant water heaters, and some of them run also, they need a couple of batteries to help them, click in. So it's just good to be familiar with the different kinds of equipment that are here. So once you're here, like let's say you're, moving to Panama, apartments and houses are easy enough to rent short term. So you can actually start making connections while you're here and get some house sitting and pet sitting opportunities that way. You can try like the websites and getting a gig before you come here, but I think it's probably easier once you're here. But you don't have to rent a place for a year. You can rent a house for a month and then, start getting the word out that you are pets, interested in pet sitting, and then you're likely to find a connection, which leads me to attend expat events. And gatherings, and then spread the word. Tell everybody you meet, oh, I'm looking for house sitting opportunities and I have experience and, pet sitting or whatever. So just get the word out. You can also let property managers know and real estate agents. Nothing really came to fruition for me from doing that, but you can try. It never hurts, right, to try. You just never know, because there's a lot of property managers and real estate agents who know of people who are gone for an extended period of time, and having a house or a condo sit vacant in Panama really isn't a great idea because of the tropical climate. Mildew, mold, leaks, any number of things can happen. So sometimes people just want, someone to stay in their place just to kind of keep things running, right? Keep, the plumbing going and keep all the stuff, all the systems working. Um, so when you do have an opportunity to house sit, make sure that it's going to work for you. There was one place that I went to, talk to them about taking care of the animals in the house, and they were heavy, heavy smokers. And I mean, I like pretty much like choked on my way, inside. So for me, that's a no. That's a hard no. I'm not going to subject myself to, being uncomfortable like that. So it's advisable to take a look before you commit to anything. If someone's local enough, take a look at the place before you, decide. And if not, then ask them questions. Are you smokers, or is there any mildew or mold? Like if you have an allergy to, mildew or mold or anything like that, you'd want to know about that before you went, to take care of this house. I would also suggest that you prepare your own checklist of information that you need. A lot of homeowners will give you, their own list, but if you have your list, you can easily just write down, refer to homeowner list. But there's a lot of information that you're going to want to need to know. You want to have a list of neighbors and their numbers to contact. You also want to know if there's any group chats through WhatsApp, because the utilities will go out, the water might stop, the internet will go out. These are not ifs, but whens. And it's nice to know if it is a community-wide thing or if it's just, your house. So being on those WhatsApp groups or Facebook groups of, the community where you're going to be pet sitting is really helpful. Also, because, if you're taking care of an animal, you may need some help from a neighbor, and people are very willing to help. And I've found that to be the case in the different parts of Panama where I've been. You definitely want to have the, obviously the vet and the emergency vet information, utilities, the, contact information for the utilities, and the account number. Most of the time there's an English speaking option for these numbers, most of the time, to find out whether you sometimes want to call and report if there's an outage. I would definitely, meet in person a week before if possible, so that all the details are fresh in your mind, and videotape any special instructions for generators, water heaters, pool equipment, anything like that. It's just really helpful to have that on hand that you can refer to. If anybody has questions, just type them in and I'll answer them. No matter where you're pet sitting, absolutely, absolutely follow the rules. I've heard such horror stories about people who, the pet sitter decided, oh, I just felt so bad for, the cat being inside all day and I just wanted it to get fresh air. And then the cat's just gone. Indoor animals are indoor animals. Dogs on a leash are on a leash for a reason. If the dog, is known not to get along with other animals, like that's for a reason. So always honor and respect the homeowner's requirements. And I always use my own supplies. I don't use the supplies of the homeowner. I just think that's, I'm using this stuff. It's mine. So any cleaning supplies, food supplies, cooking oil, things like that, I'll bring my own. And then obviously leave a place better than when you came to it. So do a little bit of extra cleaning before the homeowner comes back. And then when they do get back, um, after they've settled in back home, get a letter of reference, just stating that they liked what you did to take care of their animal and their home, and that they would highly recommend you and use you again. So those are my very disjointed live videos on house sitting in Panama. I'm really sorry for all the technical problems. I appreciate your patience. If anybody has a question, hey, Anne. Hi. If anybody has any questions, just type them in the chat. Oh, and it's okay that you got here late. I had technical problems. I couldn't get the live stream to work for 20 minutes, and then I got one to work, and then it shut down. My computer was like, we're shutting down now. We've sensed a problem. And then starting it back up, yeah, it's been a technological nightmare, basically. No one has any questions? Any questions? Any questions? It rains a lot here in the rainy season. So if you're house sitting or pet sitting in the rainy season, you definitely want to check around the house for any flooding that might be happening, because it can rain hard. When I was in Volcan months ago in the Cherokee province, it was actually really tragic. There was the Hurricane Eta. So the hurricane winds didn't come to Panama, but the rain bands from the hurricane came. And there was a really devastating mudslide that happened in Bambito, Paso Ancho, and Cerro Punta. A lot of people lost their lives. A lot of people lost their homes. And it was really devastating for the community. It's a small community, I think. But what was amazing was how the community came together to support people. I've never seen anything happen so fast. I went to help out at one of the municipality centers to put food bags together. I mean, there was trucks of supplies coming in with, baby formula and rice and beans and diapers and, alcohol wipes, because it was, during COVID times. So that was really beautiful to see the community come together. But there's things that happen to a house when it rains a lot. So I am in Sarah right now. It's in the mountains above Coronado. It's at a higher elevation, so it's cooler. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful climate. And I am looking at a house that's partially constructed. So that'll be kind of interesting. I'm talking with the sellers, and I'm getting a builder to come take a look to see how much it would be to finish the house. House term options to choose from. Not sure exactly what you mean. I'm not sure exactly what you mean. Do you mean finding a house to house sit? Yeah, I'm not exactly sure on that. Okay, any other questions? If not, I'm going to end the live stream. That was great intentions, but kind of turned out to be a technical disaster. And I'm really sorry about that. Oh, let's see. Oh, okay. How do they find you? Thank you, Susan. Well, if you're local, right? So if you're already in Panama, you talk to everybody. Talk. I'm a house sitter. I'm a pet sitter. I love pets. I want to take care of people's pets. I love cats. I love dogs. I love ducks. I love hummingbirds. So you just, talk. Let everybody know that you're interested in house sitting and pet sitting, and that's how I found my house sits. You can sign up for those services, trusted house sitters and Mind My House. But I think sometimes people are a little reluctant to hire someone that they actually haven't either met or gotten a referral from. Okay, let's see. Would you be able to live there in that area without a vehicle? You could. I mean, you could live anywhere without a vehicle. There's buses. I mean, there's buses that run, I'm surprised actually at the remote areas where they go. But I mean, I'm a car person. I lived in California. I love being in my car. So, would I be able to survive without my car? I mean, I could, but I'd be kind of miserable. I also like doing, little jaunts on side roads, but then that can lead to problems like getting stuck in a ditch, like what happened to me last week. And that's a video I'm uploading, but it's taking 3 days because of the internet, which is a question from Will. Yeah, Will. This is a really good question. The internet work online, and I need a good internet connection. I bought an Ethernet cable so that I could connect directly, and that helped. And then also I got a SIM card for a phone service that worked better in the area where I was. And that was helpful. And I also needed to use it as a hotspot to connect, the phone to the laptop. Anywhere you're going to be house sitting or pet sitting, just make sure that they have a good internet connection. Ask them, what the service provider is, what their speeds are, because you might have an okay download speed, but the upload speed is going to be absolutely abysmal. Like where I am now in Sarah, uploading a video takes a few days. In Volcan, it took 3 days to upload like a 12 to 18 minute video. So that was, it's not great. If you're in a condo, it's usually much better. Thank you so much, Inga. I really appreciate the nice words. I would love to go to Santa Fe, actually. I've heard a lot of nice things about Santa Fe. I don't know if it would be for me to live there because it is very small. I do like living near an area where I can, have access to, Arocha, which is the big, kind of like pharmacy, maybe like a CVS kind of thing. And actually in some towns, it's even bigger and more dazzling and sparkly. Sometimes I just need a little dose of that, like modern, city stuff. I usually like to live in a more quiet area, but I do want to have access and options. And from what I've heard, Santa Fe is a bit remote, but gorgeous, and lots of waterfalls and rivers and horseback riding. Santiago would be the closest large city that it's near, but I think it takes like over an hour to get to Santiago from Santa Fe. But that's on my list. Next up for me, so I'm done with this house sit in Sarah at the end of April. And then I have a house sit and pet sit for a gentleman who I took care of his place for about 6 months during the pandemic. He was stuck in California in the States, and I had no apartment, no rental commitment. So I was at his place for about 6 months. I'm going back there for 2 months to take care of his dog, Sombra. She's a sweetheart. And then that'll bring me to June. And in June, I'm hoping to go to Costa Rica to spend some time with my cousins who are renting a house there. But the border right now is closed to drive to Costa Rica. It's supposed to open, soon, but we'll see if that actually opens up. I had another thought about something. Oh, yeah, this is good to know. If you are going to be renting a place, like off of the house sitting topic, if you're going to be renting a house or an apartment and it's going to be short term, try to have the utilities and the internet stay in the name of the owner. I rented a short-term place, but they wanted me to have the electricity, which was Naturgy, and the cable in my name. So not too much of a problem establishing it, but when you want to disconnect, it can be a nightmare. So it took 8 months for Naturgy to take my name off of the account and return my deposit. 8 months of constant emails back and forth, sending them all the details they needed, but they still weren't able to. It was just kind of crazy making. And then with the cable, I had canceled it, thought I got a confirmation. And then like 4 months later, they're sending me bills for the months that I didn't even live in that apartment. I didn't have service. And then they sent it to a collection agent. Thankfully, I had an email that established that I had discontinued, the cable service, but I'm still getting like a notice from a collection agency in Panama City. So if you can, keep the utilities in the owner's name. So thank you so much, everyone, for showing up. Truly, truly appreciate it. And for those first 500 subscribers, the inspiration and motivation to keep posting. And, you can always send me an email too about anything you specifically want to know. I'm happy to answer any questions. The email is patty@pattybluehaze.com. And I'm going to type that in. If you haven't subscribed, please do. It just helps the algorithms, in the YouTube world that I'm slowly getting to know. And I appreciate your time. Thank you very much. And if there's no more questions, then I'm going to just end the live stream and wish you well. And if you're in Panama, come say hi. Let me know where you're going to be, and maybe we'll meet for coffee or a fresh Corvino. Take care, everyone.